Namaste and welcome to Transform to Transcend Wellness UAE. If you are a regular watcher of our shows, you have our heartfelt gratitude. It really means a lot to us for you to subscribe and to watch our videos. As you might have noticed, for the past few weeks, we have been mixing it up a little, making it a bit more interactive. We have had sessions of breath work and yoga nidra where you could observe, learn, and then do your own practice at home. Now, for the next few weeks, what we propose to do is to look at Pratimoksha's unique style of teaching, because we very proudly declare that no one does yoga like we do, in all humility. So this week, we are looking at one of Pratimoksha's most sought after programs, which is the Teacher's Training course. And this is certified by Yoga Alliance, and we offer both the RYT 200 and the RYT 500 programs. So this is a program which has been very carefully crafted with a lot of thought, with a lot of effort on the part of Ms. Lalitha Viswanath. And so who better to explain it to us than Ms. Lalitha herself. Namaste, Lalitha.
Namaste, Maria.
Thank you for joining us on the Zoom call where we are trying to discuss some of the frequently asked questions about the Pratimoksha's Teacher's Training Program. And we will be looking at it a little in general terms as well, where we will look at what you should look at when choosing a Teacher's Training Program anywhere, wherever you are in the world. So thank you for joining us.
You're welcome, Maria.
So, I would like to begin by asking you that if you are choosing a yoga teacher's training course, what are the things that you should look out for? I mean, probably in yourself in the first place.
So first of all, I'd like to ask each of the individuals to know what they want to do, which means whether they want to become a yoga instructor at the end of the course, or a yoga professional, yoga therapist, etc., or whether they want to own a yoga studio where they will be able to have yoga teachers, and to have competent yoga teachers, you have to know the subject. Or if it is for your own self-improvement, whereby you're interested in your inner well-being, and for that you need to have a deeper understanding of all the yogic practices. Or is it a home practice just for yourself and your family? Then these are all the questions that they will have to ask themselves first.
Okay. Yeah. So now supposing I am one of those who wants to take a very comprehensive, I'm very passionate about yoga, and I want to probably start a studio in the future. I want to initially be a yoga instructor. So what would be my career progression? What would be your advice to me on how to go about a program?
Let's take it from the first stage. For example, if you would like to just be a yoga instructor or practice yoga for yourself at home, then maybe you could start with a 200-hour RYT, whereby you're learning the instructional practice along with the sufficient understanding of alignments of yogic asanas and other practices of yoga as well. And then maybe if it's your field of interest, you could go on to further specializing yourself by taking the 500 RYT or the yoga therapy programs. Now, if you are already a yoga 200 RYT yoga teacher, and if you have found that this is your field of interest and you would want to progress to the higher levels, then 500 and therapeutic yoga are the best ways to progress forward.
And how is the Pratimoksha Teacher's Training course different from the others on offer outside?
All right. So here at Pratimoksha, we offer a comprehensive program that includes a deeper understanding of the philosophy of yoga. We start from the basic understanding of where the origin of yoga has been, how it originated, the Vedic origin, etc. And then into the deeper understanding of the mind and psyche management, and how it affects the physical body and its performance. And of course, then it comes to the body. And when it comes to the body, we have to have a sound understanding of the anatomy and physiology. And when it comes to the anatomy and physiology, we have three main divisions, which the first division is the basic anatomy itself, a sufficient understanding of how the different systems work. We have 11 human systems and how they work individually and together also. Then we move on to the muscle anatomy and skeletal systems, and finally the applied anatomy. So we start with the basic, then we move on to the functional, and then we move on to the applied anatomy. And each one of them will have their own relation to the yoga. So basically this is a yoga course, and we're not going into a medical profession here. We need to have that understanding. And for that, we have to understand how yoga plays, or yoga is integrated with all of these. For example, how can yoga help in stress management? Here we don't necessarily have to have a functional anatomy or an applied anatomy, but definitely we have to have an understanding of basic anatomy, the physiology. Yes. And also the philosophy. What is mind? What are the different levels of consciousness, etc. And let's say if you're addressing a therapeutic yoga, that is where you have issue-based clients coming to you. And when you have the issue-based clients, they might be coming from different professional background. It could be a sedentary, seated job profile, or driving constantly. They may be into the sales and marketing, so driving constantly, or they may be hard labors, like the labor of a beautician, or even a physiotherapist for that fact. We all go through different kinds of issues. And how do we address these using our skill set? And what is our skill set? It is a sound understanding of all the different subjects that's being covered in these 500 hours. So what we have done in our course is divided them into different modules, and each module will be covering various aspects of the requirement or the skill set. So that's how we progress. It's a progressive. So we start at the basic level and then move on to the higher level subsequently. And it's 6 months. So weekends we meet, and it's going to be for 6 months. So there will be enough time for them to understand the subject theory wise, and then make it practical at the same time, because we have enough time to utilize.
I know that you insist on a face-to-face meeting with a student before they actually enroll for the program. In fact, they themselves would like to meet you and talk to you before, to see whether they are ready for the program. So, what are some of the commonly asked questions that they bring up, during these interviews with you?
Okay, so it depends on the level of understanding or the level of practice that the student has had. For example, if it's a total beginner, then they would be having a lot of inhibitions, whether they will be able to do or teach advanced asana practice, or whether they will be able to learn the subject of anatomy and physiology, because their subjects during the school days or career would be totally different. They may be looking at a career switch, or like I mentioned earlier, it may be just for their own self-enhancement. Yes. So we take it very easy for them. We take it step by step. The teachers are very cooperative in helping them understand the subject and then have their practical applications on this subject itself, with a lot of day-to-day live examples. So this is where our course is comprehensive, where we don't just speak in the air. We have our own experiences of handling various kinds of clients coming from different backgrounds, different walks of life. So it's a very rich and nutritious course, wholesome course by itself. Then when we look at the second level of students who come, they come with a sufficient understanding, or rather I would say an overall understanding of what yoga is. Maybe there are some practitioners at some level, as practitioners of asanas at some level. So then we tell them that if we also tailor make or customize the teacher's training course, and tell them, okay, we will now focus on your instructional skills. So we give them schedules to start off with the instructions straight away. So that's how we look at the students, their requirements. And like I told you, we have students from different walks of life. It may be from a housewife to an HR to XYZ profession. and they are coming. It's they're all at the same level, but at the same time we give them things that is relevant to their nature of learning as well as their professional wants, demands.
So,
You can say.
so that brings me to this question of, there is a perception out there that if you are doing a yoga TTC, it means that you want to become a full-fledged yoga teacher. Now, I think you would like to break that stereotype. I mean, like, because yoga TTC can be done by almost anybody, and it can benefit almost anybody.
In fact, I would like to start off with the statement that it should have been a part of a curriculum, from the school levels itself. But unfortunately, this is not being, it is not the system these days. So here is where I would like to emphasize that, for example, let's say somebody who's managing the HR division. This would be an exceptionally good course, which is worthwhile of their investment of time, energy, and resources, whereby they can upskill their talent in not judging people, but understanding people, because they are people's people. So they need to understand the emotions, they need to understand their health conditions, and this course will nourish them with all the requirements, whether it is philosophy or physiology. This course is an excellent course that will help them do their job roles much better, and in all honesty, I mean, in the sense, true to their own self. So that's one thing. Then let's say the nutritionist or physiotherapist. This is an added skill set to their profession, because physiotherapists are muscle people, or they are basically they know the anatomy and physiology. So, but at the same time, their limitations are understanding human nature, understanding human minds, and mind does play a role into the physiological aspects, because if you are stressed, your BP goes up, your level of cortisol rises, your other parameters start swaying here and there. And that is where physiotherapists can capitalize on this course by giving them deep breathing exercises, meditation practices, and all of that to help them. So it's a holistic approach, and they'll be able to render their skill set in a much better and effective, and the success rate will be very high, so they'll get more people coming towards them, because they are healers basically. Then let's move on to the teachers themselves, the school teachers or university teachers or headmasters, or the people who are in the management levels of school. This is a wonderful course that will help them deal with pressure situations, that will help them again understand people better, to be able to render a better service, because ultimately we're looking out for a peaceful environment for the teachers as well as the students, and the whole, that is how the harmony of the entire organization is, we look for that. And learning a yoga teachers trainers course will enhance their performance level, because they're creating a peaceful environment, not just for them, but for the whole organization. Then moving on to homemakers, or even hard labors, people who are doing hard labors, like beauticians and therapists themselves, it's massage therapists. This is a good course where they will be able to address their own issues they might be having, because if you're doing the hair cutting or threading, your neck is bent at a certain position, and you might end up with a shoulder pain or neck pain. It is quite commonly seen. They're called occupational hazards. They'll be able to address them not only for themselves but their colleagues as well. So this is a whole. I mean, I can't. There are no words to explain. The benefits or the amount of impact it is going to have on people who take the course. Because it's not just for becoming a yoga teacher or maybe a yoga instructor, but it is going to benefit the whole community, worldwide. So that's why I love this program, and I guess we've come up with a wonderful, comprehensive course.
True. True, true. So it's almost what, from what you're saying, is almost like a first aid course, that everybody should equip themselves with. And I feel that with UAE's push towards happiness and well-being in all organizations, and with its emphasis on alternative healing modalities, where it is so open to all these things, a TTC can be a very powerful tool, in their kit, So that's what I
Precisely,
feel.
precisely. You just hit the nail.
One or two final questions before I let you go. One is that I, as a founder and as the head of a yoga studio for the past 4 or 5 to 6 years, and before that with decades of experience teaching yoga, you must have seen a lot of teachers come and go. And what is your opinion about the general quality of teachers that you find?
So, to be very honest, it is quite difficult to find a teacher who has, a knowledge of the philosophy as well as the anatomy. Either they know the anatomy and physiology, or they know the philosophy. Both together, it's very hard to find, because there's no such course where they're incorporating these two sciences together. And that's where we have bridged the gap, because coming from the osteopathy background, I realized that anatomy and physiology is a very important aspect, because today it's become more a sedentary lifestyle. People are having a lot of issues on the back and neck and shoulders. So it's not like the earlier days where we used to go out and play or have a lot of sport activities. Today, sport itself has become a stress. People want to win matches. That has become an added pressure for the children to compete against one another. So that's a different topic altogether, not within the scope of this discussion. But having said that, we have bridged the gap between the two, whereby anatomy and physiology helps the physical body, and at the same time, philosophy is addressing the mental issues. So when we have mental issues like stress, has a direct impact on the physiology, because stress is the main reason for the cause of psychosomatic disorders like diabetes, blood pressure, high blood pressure, and the cardiovascular issues. So when we are able to address these two aspects in one platform, then it becomes a very wholesome program. And this is where we make a difference, because both the topics have been taught in depth in our course. And that's why it's spanning out to 6 months and 500 hours. Having said that, we'll come back to the teachers. When we are hiring the messy yoga, applied yoga, or whatever, the teachers do have a theoretical knowledge of the philosophy, but the practical knowledge is absent. And here is where we make a difference, whereby we have years of experience, which we have tried and tested, and come to the conclusion that these are the things that work, and these are the things that can work, and these are the things that will not work. Because remember that yoga is a 5,000-year-old science, and the ancient yogic philosophies or the disciplines, some of them may be appealing for us, but may not be practical for today's generation, because it's not good or bad about it, but it's just the way we are today's time. We have to adapt. Success of let's take a peek into the Darwin's theory, the survival of the fittest. So is someone who is able to survive and adapt to the situations. And here is where the flexibility of the mind in the yogic disciplines which can be maximized or utilized. So that's where the philosophy comes of use. But at the same time, philosophy has to be structured or rewired to the modern times.
And I think a lesser known aspect of Pratimoksha's programs itself, and it is part of the TTC also, I know, is your emphasis on the Ayurveda and the chakras, and all that is also forms a part of your programs.
Yes, that's something which I missed mentioning, because Ayurveda, the Ayurvedic science is again, relating to the psychology of mind, because Ayurveda talks about Vata, Pitta, Kapha personalities. which is nothing but, if you relate it to the modern psychology, it is type A, type B, type C personalities. And that's when we understand each personality, we will be able to, using all the different yogic disciplines, we will be able to give them a good lifestyle to manage themselves better. And what is lifestyle? Lifestyle includes all these things: your food, your sleep, your activities, your exercises, all of them together is your lifestyle. So here is where the yogic disciplines can be, tailor made or customized. And a good teacher will be able to incorporate all the different aspects of yogic disciplines to a client who has come to you, because a client is coming to you for a solution.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's seeking something. So that's where our teachers, our teachers who've been released from the institutions, will have to think about that. It's yoga is not a course where it is just full of asanas and weight loss programs, where it's not a body sculpting program whereby they just want to get themselves into the postures that is there in the background. Or neither it is a weight loss program where you work it out to work out the asanas to lose weight. So these are the understandings or the advice or the message to the young teachers, because yogis were never fat to lose weight.
Yes. No, and as you keep telling us, weight loss is always a byproduct of yoga. It is when you practice yoga holistically that you achieve weight loss during your journey.
Right. Truly said. Yeah.
So, and one final question. I've been saying this a lot, fine, but I'm stretching it out. But now, say someone cannot do a Pratimoksha TTC for whatever reasons. Then, how would you advise such a person on when they are selecting a teacher's training program? What should you look out for in that program, in a center?
First and foremost is we need to understand what is the syllabus that they are going to cover. At least, many centers would be letting out the syllabus only after their enrollment of the program. But definitely they'll be able to give you an outline of the course, a course outline. And second thing is, if you do not know the teachers or, the faculty, then it will be a good idea to enroll into a couple of their programs, so that you will understand the quality of the teachers who will be taking those subjects for you, whether it is asanas or the theory part of it, anatomy, physiology, philosophy, etc. So these are two parameters through which you can understand the quality of the organization with which you're going to enroll your.
So thank you so much, Lalitha, for going through all these questions patiently with us. There might be a few questions by viewers out there which we probably haven't answered, and I would really ask you all to put those down in the comment section below. Get in touch with us if you would like more information. I think, Lalitha, you are going to start a new TTC course, new TTC batch rather, soon.
Yes, I hope that there is still a couple of enrollments going in. So by the end of this month, the course would be,
ready to roll out. Okay. Ready. And this will be your fourth batch.
Absolutely.
Okay. So arm yourself with all the knowledge that that you can, all the information rather that you can get out there about a TTC program, about a center, how they are teaching. As Ms. Lalitha said, go in for a couple of classes, have a face-to-face meeting with the teacher. Pratimoksha does hold orientation sessions from time to time, providing information about our teachers training program. So get in touch with us if you would like more information, if you would like to be part of our new fourth batch, which is about to start. And till we meet again for another episode of Transform to Transcend Wellness UAE, it's Namaste from me and from all of us here in Pratimoksha.
Namaste.